Hi everyone, Kate Odell here. I've been a member of the Irish Club of Alaska since 1988, and I want to welcome you to what I think is one of the most exciting events we've ever hosted, the 2020 Galway Days Virtual Irish Festival. I'd also like to encourage you to go to the Irish Club of Alaska website and become a member of the club today. We want you to join us as we create new ways to celebrate our Irish heritage here in Alaska. And Céad Míle Fáilte.
Thank you, Philip and Natalie. We do so miss you here in Anchorage. We'd like to take time to thank our sponsors, Reilly's Pub at 317 Fireweed Lane, Kate Odell, Arctic Siren Productions, Both Ears Live Sound, Frostline Productions, Celtic Community of Alaska, and the Scottish Club of Alaska. Our next performers are the Derryers. The Derryers formed in 1994 as part of a St. Patrick's Day show. Amidst all the serious traditional Irish musicians, there were few singers and none that wanted to perform the songs most requested by the audiences of the time. The true Irish schmaltzy songs like Danny Boy and Galway Bay. Following their initial performance, they found themselves in high demand for not only their Irish repertoire, but their tight harmonies and irreverent humor. Over nearly 25 years and several personnel changes, they have retained their original charm and added a myriad of styles to their show, ranging from contemporary to Celtic, blues to jazz, but all of it with a dash of humor. Originally a trio, this cult phenomenon has become an amorphous performance ensemble of solo artists that likes to expand to a quintet status whenever enough of them are in town. Today's performances feature Erin Alexander, Peggy Monahan, and Nancy Steele. Though essentially an a cappella ensemble, you just never know what these women will do on stage. Their shows feature a mix of instruments from kazoos and penny whistle to guitar and piano. Fellow musician Robin Hopper calls them stellar. Their 2000 release, Cheek to Cheek, met with rave reviews, as has their 2006 release, Built for Comfort. Their 2011 release, Frozen Assets, is not to be missed collection of gorgeous holiday tunes. Their latest release, Bottoms Up, is a celebration of their wry and benevolent take on the human condition. You can find links to their music on the vendor fair page.
Welcome to Galway Days Virtual Irish Festival. We are the Derryers. My name is Peggy Monahan. This is Erin Alexander. This is Nancy Steele.
We do.
Sometimes we're a trio, sometimes we're a quartet, and sometimes we're a quintet. But today we're a trio because everybody else is out of town. This first song was written in 1985 by Julie Gold. And it's sort of heartbreaking that it's still as pertinent today as it was back then.
From a distance, the world looks blue and green, and the snow-capped mountains white. From a distance, the oceans meet the streams, and the eagle takes to flight. From a distance, there is harmony, and it echoes through the land. It's the voice of hope, it's the voice of peace, it's the voice of every man. From a distance, we all have enough, and no one is in need. There are no guns, no bombs, and no disease, no hungry mouths to feed. From a distance, we are instruments marching in a common God is watching us. God is watching us. God is watching us from a distance. From a distance, you look like my friend, even though we are at war. And from a distance, I just cannot comprehend what all of this fighting is for. From a distance, there is harmony, and it echoes through the land. And it's the hope of hopes, it's the love of loves, it's the song of every man. God is watching us. God is watching us. God is watching us from a distance. God is watching us. God is watching. God is watching us from a distance.
Okay, Julie Gold song. This next song is by a Bay Area songwriter named Sally Coombs. And if you ever grew up with an Irish grandfather, then this will speak to you as it does to me. I remember him sitting and smoking a pipe in a big leather chair bathed in golden sunlight. And he'd tell us stories of Ireland and elves, and try to convince us he was magic himself. And I'd sneak in to scare him whenever I could, but he'd know I was there, and I knew that he would spin me around, sit me down on his knee. With a smile on his face, he'd whisper to me. He'd say, your father's a sailor, there's a love of the water. From your mother there's strength, she's an Irishman's daughter. And I think you'll be headstrong, doing just what you want to, just like that old Irish man. Well, his granddaughters wore pretty dresses with lace, but I would come home with some dirt on my face, or a rip in my dress from climbing a tree. He'd just shake his head as he looked down at me, and he said I was stubborn, lessons would be hard learned, so my discipline was a major concern. And when I'd been scolded and sent off to bed, with an ear to the door I could hear what he said. He said, her father's a sailor, there's a love of the water. From her mother there's strength, she's an Irishman's daughter. But why she's so headstrong, doing just what she wants to, bewilders this old Irish man. Now the summers and winters have left him behind. My memories of him are what's left of our time, but I still have to laugh
at the things that he'd do, and the stories he told, and the words that came true. For I have affection for sails in the wind, and a strong stubborn streak that reminds me of him. And if he could hear the songs as I play, with a smile on his face, I know just what he'd say. He'd say, your father's a sailor, there's a love of the water. From your mother there's strength, she's an Irishman's daughter. And I see you're still headstrong, doing just what you want to, just like this old Irish man, just like that old Irish man. Well, I like that old Irish man. Oh, thank you, Sally Coombs, for writing that beautiful song. Okay. This next song features Nancy. This is an Irish tune called I Know My Love.
I know my love by his way of walking, and I know my love by his way of talking, and I know my love dressed in a suit of blue. And if my love leaves me, what will I do? And still she cried, I love him the best, and a troubled mind sure can know no rest. And still she cried, bonny boys are few, and if my love leaves me, what will I do? There is a dance house in Meredith, and there my true love goes every night. He takes a strange girl upon his knee. Well, now don't you think that that vexes me? And still she cried, I love him the best, and a troubled mind sure can know no rest. And still she cried, bonny boys are few, and if my love leaves me, what will I do? I know my love is an errant rover, I know he'll wander the wild world over. In dear old Ireland he'll no longer tarry, an American girl he's sure to marry. And still she cried, I love him the best, and a troubled mind sure can know no rest. And still she cried, bonny boys are few, and if my love leaves me, what will I do? I know my love is an errant rover, and know he'll wander the wild world over. In dear old Ireland he'll no longer tarry, an American girl he's sure to marry. And still she cried, I love him the best, and a troubled mind sure can know no rest. And still she cried, bonny boys are few, and if my love leaves me, what will I do? And still she cried, I love him the best, and a troubled mind sure can know no rest. And still she cried, bonny boys are few, and if my love leaves me, what will I do?
What will she do?
This next song is a Gillian Welch tune called Orphan Girl, and it is on our I think it's on our Bottoms Up album, paired with a tune, I can't remember.
Foggy Doo?
Foggy Doo. Our fiddler's not here today, so we're bypassing Foggy Doo.
I am an orphan on God's highway, but I'll share my travels if you go my way. I have no mother, no father, no sister, no brother. I am an orphan girl. I had friendships, pure and golden, but the ties of kinship, I have not known them. I know no mother, no father, no sister, no brother. I am an orphan girl. But when he calls me, I will be able to meet my family at God's table. I'll meet my mother, my father, my sister, my brother. No more an orphan girl. Well, blessed Savior, make me willing and walk beside me till I am with them and be my mother, my father, my sister, my brother. I am an orphan girl. I am an orphan girl.
Aaron Alexander. This next song is written by Andy M. Stewart, and it's called Take Her in Your Arms. And since we are lady philosophers, oh my gosh, I touched my face. We are lady philosophers who freely dispense advice whenever we can. We're sending this out to all you gentlemen out there.
Listen carefully.
Have you seen him on the corner? Sure his lip would reach the pavement. He's been hiding from his razor. Is he not an awful sight? In love he was a purist, and now he's frightening the tourists. Had he gone and asked his father? I'm sure he'd tell you right, saying, take her in your arms, tell her that you love her. Take her in your arms and hold that woman tight. Take her in your arms, tell her that you love her. If you're going to love a woman, then be sure and do it right. Well, he met her at a disco, at a dive in San Francisco, and it all might happen different. Had he seen her in daylight, she was painted, she was scented, she drove your man demented. Had he gone and asked his father, I'm sure he'd tell him right, saying, take her in your arms, tell her that you love her. Take her in your arms and hold that woman tight. Take her in your arms, tell her that you love her. If you're going to love a woman, then be sure and do it right. Now there's pub with fun and laughter, and the landlord's buying heavy. There's a session in the corner, the crack is grand tonight. But your man that lost his woman, he's still at home lamenting. Had he gone and asked his father, I'm sure he'd tell you right, saying, take her in your arms, tell her that you love her. Take her in your arms and hold that woman tight. Take her in your arms, tell her that you love her. If you're going to love a woman, then be sure and do it right. Now depression's not a million laughs, and suicide's not painless. Don't go leaping out of buildings in the middle of the night. 'Tis not the fall but landing at a altar social standing. But go first and ask your father, I'm sure he'll tell you right, saying, take her in your arms, tell her that you love her. Take her in your arms and hold that woman tight. Take her in your arms, tell her that you love her. If you're going to love a woman, then be sure and do it right.
we're all true lovers, and their sisters and their brothers and their uncles and their grannies. For this thing is black and white. If you're keen to start romancing with its laughing and its dancing, well, go first, ask your father. I'm sure he'll tell you right, saying, take her in your arms, tell her that you love her. Take her in your arms and hold that woman tight. Take her in your arms, tell her that you love her. If you're going to love a woman, then be sure and do it right. Take her in your arms, tell her that you love her. Take her in your arms and hold that woman tight. Take her in your arms, tell her that you love her. If you're going to love a woman, then be sure and do it right. Remember that.
Peggy Monahan, doling out advice.
Woohoo! Okay. This next song is an Irish song called When Barney Flew Over the Hills, and tells the story of a young man so in love he braves the winter weather and goes to see his beloved, and
He has very high standards.
but he leaves less than satisfied. Let's just
Okay. 'Twas a cold winter's night, and the tempest was snarling. The snow like a sheet covered cabin and stile. When Barney flew over the hills to his darling, and rapped at her window where Katie did lie. "Ah, Jewel," cried he, "are you sleeping or waking? The night's bitter cold, and my coat it is thin. For the storm is a brewing, and the frost is a making. Oh, Katie, my warning, you must let me in." "Barney," cried she, and she spoke through the window, "how could you be taking me out of my bed? For to come at this hour is a sin and a shame, sir. 'Tis whiskey, not love, that's got into your head. If your heart it was true of my fame, you'd be tender. Think of the nights when there's nobody in. What has a poor girl but her name to defend her? Now, Barney, my warning, I won't let you in." "Ah, Cushla," cried he, "it's my heart that's a fountain that weeps for the wrong that might lie at your door. Your name is more white than the snow on the mountains, and Barney would die to preserve it as pure. I'll go to my home though the winter winds face me. I'll whistle the notes, for I'm happy within, and the words of my Kathleen will comfort and bless me. No, Barney, my Barney, I won't let you in." 'Twas a cold winter's night, and the tempest was snarling. The snow like a sheet-covered cabin and stile. When Barney flew over the hills to his darling, and rapped at her window where Katie did lie.
Nancy Steele.
Thank you.
Tune for Avila?
Yeah, I've got to retune, so.
So this one is called Avila. We like to sneak it in. It's not really Irish, but we
Sounds
like it.
Irish.
It sounds a little Irish. And it's by the Waylon Jennys. And Peggy's going to drop us into D here.
Try not to touch my face. I think the Waylon Jennys are running a really close second to us in the bands, lady bands with the coolest names.
Oh, sweet peace, never have you fallen upon black crows are loaded with the call of things discarded, the ribbon shards of battle and everything burned. Have they forgotten we live here? And do they think that we gave up, lay down and grew over weeds at every turn? And oh, sweet peace, never have you fallen, never have you fallen upon this town. And oh, sweet peace, never have you fallen, never have you fallen upon this town. Well, I will not rest until this place is full of sunlight, at least until the darkness is quiet for a while. Oh, and we will not wait for that murder to come calling. The night will simply fall and the morning will rise. And oh, sweet peace, never have you fallen, never have you fallen upon this town. And oh, sweet peace, never have you fallen, never have you fallen upon this town. And oh, sweet peace, never have you fallen, never have you fallen upon this town. Oh, and oh, sweet peace, when will you be calling? When will you be calling upon this town?
I couldn't find that.
Okay. Fine.
All right.
This is a British Isles song about a young boy who works in the mines. If I had another penny, I would buy another Jill. I would make the piper play the bonny lass of Biker Hill. Biker Hill and Walker Shore, Collier lads forevermore. Biker Hill and Walker Shore, Collier lads forevermore. The pitman and the girls are trim, they drink bumble made from gin. And to dance they do begin to the tune of Elsie Marley. Biker Hill and Walker Shore, Collier lads forevermore. Biker Hill and Walker Shore, Collier lads forevermore. When first I went down to the dirt, I had no coat nor no pitch shirt. Now I've gotten 2 or 3 Walker pits done well by me. Biker Hill and Walker Shore, Collier lads forevermore. Biker Hill and Walker Shore, Collier lads forevermore. Geordie Johnson, he had a pig, you'd hit him with a shovel and he'd dance a jig. All the way to Walker Shore, to the tune of Elsie Marley. Biker Hill and Walker Shore, Collier lads forevermore. Biker Hill and Walker Shore, Collier lads forevermore. Biker Hill and Walker Shore, Collier lads forevermore. Biker Hill and Walker Shore, Collier lads forevermore.
Ooh, Maid of Colemore. Okay, I did my homework on this one. Ooh. Colemore, now I'm going to forget. Colemore is about 2 miles away from Derry in Northern Ireland. And it is where the River Foyle turns into Lafoyle and goes out to the ocean. And it was a common point where immigrants would leave. So this song is about a lad who falls in love with a girl, and she's about to leave on the Maid of Colemore.
Oh.
Yeah. While leaving sweet Derry for fair London town, there is no finer harbor all around can be found. While the youngsters each evening go down to the shore, and the sweet bells are ringing for the Maid of Colemore. The first time that I saw her, she passed me by. And the next time I saw her, she bid me goodbye. And the last time I saw her, it grieved my heart sore. For she sailed down the foil away from Colemore. If I had the power, the storms for to rise, I'd make the wind blow out and darken the skies. I'd make the winds blow high and the salt seas to roar, till the day that my darling sailed away from Colemore. Well, to the far parts of America, my love I'll go see. For it's there I know no one and no one knows me. But if I don't find her, I'll return home no more. Like a pilgrim I'll wander for the Maid of Colemore. Like a pilgrim I'll wander for the Maid of Colemore.
Aaron Alexander on that one. This is our last song. We want to thank you all for joining us today. I want to thank Frostline Productions for being our video crew and our audio crew. Again, this is Aaron Alexander. This is Nancy Steele. My name is Peggy Monahan, and we are the Derry Heirs. And we've had a blast doing this for Galway Days, virtual Irish festival here in Anchorage, Alaska. And it is summer in Alaska, but we're still not used to this kind of glowingness that we're having. So we wouldn't be a self-respecting vocal. I'm sorry, I keep hitting this. What? We wouldn't be a self-respecting vocal band if we didn't end with this song, "The Parting Glass." Of all the money that e'er I spent, I spent it in good company, and all the harm that e'er I've done, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. Oh, all the comrades that e'er I had are sorry for my going away, and all the sweethearts that e'er I had would wish me one more day to stay. But since it falls unto my lot that I should gently rise, and I'll softly call, good night and joy be with you all. Thank you, Galway Days.
Thank you also to our sponsors, Reilly's Pub at 317 Fireweed Lane here in Anchorage, Kate Odell, Arctic Siren Productions, Both Ears Live Sound, run by the wonderful Lucy Peckham, and Frostline Productions.